Good evening, everybody. Dadman Walking 55 here tonight with you. 9 o'clock, about 5 after 9 on the East Coast. Hey, welcome in tonight. Welcome to another week of Sports Talk, a sports weekly with Dadman and friends. So let's bring out the posse tonight. We're just going to bring them all out here together because we've done this a few times before. But hey, Sci-Fi Mommy, JT Kirk, and Whoopa Troopa. Hey, howdy, folks. How are y'all tonight?
Hey, pretty good.
Doing good, party people.
Ready to talk some basketball.
All right.
Let's do it.
And the Whooper's quiet. You know, I was just sitting here thinking about this time of year is usually when we have some training down in the home of the Gators. And I remember a couple years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, I'm sitting there going out to Texas Roadhouse. I'm driving in the car and checking around what's on YouTube. And there's a guy named Whoopa Troopa playing a game or something on a Tuesday night.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, little you know, 2 years later, hey, we're streaming together. But good to see you. So, all right. So, Wade, you got to wait about the Gator feelings. We'll talk about that. We'll have plenty of time coming down the ways. I was saddened. We'll talk a little bit about the basketball team, though, coming up. And Corey Cochran, hello to you tonight. Glad to have everybody here. And, of course, Sci-Fi Mombi's here and JT Kirk here. So, feel free to share the stream out. Bribe people if you have to. So, we'll see how things go. Yeah. All right. So we'll see how this goes. All right. We're going to take some time. We might have a couple of different topics tonight, too. We shall see where we go in the time we have. But, guys, so what did y'all think overall for the first time, the first weekend now in the books for March Madness? What did you think about it overall, Whoopa?
I think it was pretty good. I think we didn't get as many upsets as we have the last couple of years, but I think we got a lot of good games, like a lot of close games. I think we got at least 3 or 4 overtime games, which I feel like doesn't usually happen in March Madness.
How about the number of games with 100 points?
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of high-scoring points.
Yeah, Wade was reminding me of this one, but I will tell you, I not to make excuses because I think the Gators still scored 100. They lost their 7-footer in the conference championship, and I can't help but think that affected their defense. But give Colorado credit. Anytime you score 100 points in a college basketball game, it is definitely something. So, all right, JT Kirk, what are your thoughts and observations from the first week we got?
Some big shockers, some not so big shockers. Honestly, I was more pleased with the picks that I had than I normally am because I was right more often than not. But it wasn't about me. It was I'm at a loss for words. It left me more interested than when I went in, which was a good thing. A lot of times you're just like, oh, another round of this kind of stuff, and it can be hard to get excited at the beginning. But now I'm looking ahead to the different games, Sweet 16, Elite 8, and there's some cool matchups and some teams that you really want to root for, which is how you want to watch a sport, right? You want to have something to look forward to.
Absolutely. We're going to take a look at some of these matchups coming up too. I tell you what, I wish I was a UConn fan though. Oh man, I think that they have by far what looks to be almost a juggernaut going this year. So,
well, who is a UConn fan? Our good friend Mark D with a C.
Absolutely. So, it never a dull moment without Mark. He'll let you know. He's got that little evil laugh.
Yeah,
that evil laugh. But I tell you what, as bad as their football has been, I think I'd be very proud of it. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. And Sci-Fi Mommy, what did you think?
Well, being my first time I ever filled out a bracket, I was like, hey, I got 2 out of something right.
You did call Yale in the first round, though, I think.
I did. That was crazy.
Got it. Yeah.
I just went off name recognition, and I was listening to some of the newscasters of our NBC affiliate here. They were talking about how they picked their, and she's just like, oh, I just picked by the color of their uniform. I'm like, what?
Hey,
At
around
least I
here,
knew the names.
well, around here, that's a perfectly fine method. We let people
Mm.
do that, and we embrace it. If they'll talk sports, if they'll watch sports, we'll take whatever methodology that they want to use
Mhm.
today. And that's so. Eh, yeah, yep, exactly. So hey, just let us know when you're ready. But the Auburn loss to Yale though made me feel better as a Gator fan. At least we scored 100. We just got outscored by a team that was hotter that day. Auburn had a lead, lost it to Yale. I'm like, but what about the Southeastern Conference? Because I'm curious now to see when we go through this tonight, we look at the advanced brackets and the new matchups. For all the hype about the SEC and the number of teams they've had in, they really seem to underperform this week. Did y'all see how the? Yeah, go ahead, JT.
Oh no, go for it. Go for it.
Oh yeah, because it's like the SEC. You have Auburn, Florida lost. Several of the others that were in there. Alabama struggled, but they ended up winning. It's just interesting to see how the conference did this year, especially when they are always. How many teams do you get from a conference, and when do you skip the mid majors and all? That's always a debate. And hello, Teague. How are you? Yeah. No, the Dayton
I was
Flyers.
going to say, Dadman, they always do about as well as I think, which is a little bit of disrespect to the SEC. No offense to you. I just,
No.
A lot of these teams, these SEC teams are, simply not as strong as the competition.
No, exactly. But they beat.
Yeah. I know. I mean, the SEC is a really good football conference, and somewhere along the way, March Madness people, suddenly thought that means that they'd be good at basketball, and they're just that's not equal. That is not correct, but
not at all.
Not at all. It's a different game. Different game.
Yep.
All right. So Kentucky failed. Yes, that was a game last week that we.
Yeah.
That was something. You kind of called it. What a way for that coach to go out. He actually looked like he was going to maybe play. That second game against NC State, but NC State held up. Well, let's look at those matches, by the way, while we're at that as we go. All right, so we're going to Teague says he's good, already tired ever since that last. Yeah, hey, you sleep like 11 hours a day. Yeah, I heard this one takes it out of people. So, but hey, share out the stream, Teague. Go, you're a good New Yorker. Go knock everybody's heads up and tell them get in here. So we appreciate it. Oh, gently persuade them, I guess I should say. But with that debonair and charm you have, Teague. So, and Jason Fox, hey, welcome. Good to see you tonight. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, Jace?
Yeah. Hey, welcome to Sports Ball. We're actually we make Sports Ball fun around here, even if people don't know. We aim to have a good time. And tonight's graphics will be presented to you by the great Whoopa Troopa. You ready, Whoopa, to take us through the bracket?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. So here we go here with this one. All right.
So this is the recap. This first four is basically outside of betting on Virginia to lose. Everything else is just coin flip.
Yeah.
But so these are the results. Wagner beat Howard. Very close game. Virginia put up 14 points in a 1.5. Makes you think you're watching football again.
Yeah.
Boise State and Colorado is pretty close, but Colorado won, and Grambling State beat Montana. I don't know what state Grambling is, but
Louisiana.
Or Gambling State.
Right, Gambling State.
Gambling State, Wagner.
Right. But I put up the little icons here, the predictions. These are everyone who predicted these outcomes. So
cool.
We got a few points here. Everyone got something right at least.
Dang, you went all out with this one though, Whoopa. That's good work.
These are great.
Yeah.
But that's probably enough outside of the fact that Virginia scored 14 points and a half. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that wrecked me. Oh man. I was like, are you kidding?
That was there's always debates on like who seeded where. I think for the most part this was a good graphic or good selection. except I know everyone was like, "Man, why the heck is Virginia up here?" And then they played, and everyone was like, "Yeah, why the heck did you put Virginia in here?" Could have seen our boy Indiana State, but alas. Anyways, that's all for this. Unless you guys have anything more.
Fortuitous was what we see how the Colorado does in the next round, though. It kind of regret. I would kind of now wish Boise State would have won, but we will see what happens in the next round.
Yeah, but I was missing a blue basketball court. Come on, like
yeah,
absolutely. Mombi, have you ever seen the Boise State field?
I don't think I have. No.
But go ahead to the next break. I'm going to bring up for people like Jason. I'm sure Wade has seen it, but for Mombi and others that may not be familiar with what JT's joke about the blue field, I will get that. But go ahead, Whoopa. Keep us going.
Oh, wait. So for top half of the East, nothing too surprising except for Yale beating Auburn by 2 points. That was definitely a surprise. Everything else, San Diego State and UConn in the Sweet 16 is not too surprising. UConn whooped up. And yeah, Auburn, an interesting thing with that, if you saw, like 4 minutes into the game, one of Auburn's starters just elbowed a dude and got ejected.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, did they say they described it as he was the second player with that? Were you able to see that, or did you just see the
second player?
Yeah, because they apparently made it sound like he was retaliating. That one of the Yale players did something.
I didn't see if the Yale players did. I saw the clip of him elbowing the dude. I'm like, that looks pretty bad. But it's hard to, it's hard to think that didn't have an outcome on the game considering how close it was. But Auburn falling in the first round to Yale, who Ivy League I think is now 6-8 in the first round over the last 10 years or so. I think 10, 15 years. Which is honestly not bad. I mean, for Ivy League is only one of the teams. The only way you're going to get in is if you win the league.
And they were a late second tip in away from having a team with a losing record in the tournament would be Brown, but Yale beat them at the buzzer.
So the fact that they have most of these, I guess these don't even count as mid majors, do they? They're kind of the low majors, but to have a record like that.
Simply Steve is here. Hello, Simply Steve.
Hail.
Loves March Madness. Feel free, talk with us about it. Do you have a team in the fight? And what teams you like, Steve? But hey, welcome. And yeah, because going back to the Ivy League conference game, because they have had some of the most historic upsets. Princeton usually is one that does it, and they were the best team this year, but they got beat by Brown. But I mean, I will say Yale pulling out the upset though this year. I was really surprised by that one.
Yeah, well, they played a good game from what I saw. I didn't watch the whole game. I didn't expect it to be close until the end. I'm like, oh shoot, I should watch this.
And by the way, before we get too far in this, Sci-Fi Mombi, Jason, if you're here, anybody that has not seen the Boise State football field, this is it right here.
Oh wow, that's a lot of.
That blue. Is not green on.
Yes, blue. It is.
Yes.
That's why I was hoping for the same on the court too.
Yes. And their basketball.
Do they spray the field down, or do they have it? Is it artificial turf or?
It's artificial turf.
It's artificial.
It's natural green grass.
Is it?
Oh, it's natural blue.
No, I'm.
I was like, no.
I'm gaslighting all of you.
Well, I thought maybe they sprayed it down with blue paint or something.
Yeah.
I for a fact happen to know that there are only 4 lights. Okay.
That looks sick. Yeah, it does. It's actually the host. It hosts the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Yeah, exactly.
It's
in Boise,
cool.
Idaho. Wait till you see the basketball court.
Blue toilet water right there.
Wait till you see the basketball court. Let me see if I can get that in there. Yeah, we'll let Whoopa go ahead in there, and I'll show you the basketball court real quick.
Okay, so we've got the predictions. Everyone picked UConn to make it to the Sweet 16, so that was pretty what's it called? That was pretty easy points for everyone. But down on the bottom here, I think it's kind of cool that you have no one picked San Diego State to make it. Only Mambi picked Yale, and me and Mambi both picked San Diego State to win the first matchup. No one picked Northwestern either. So there's a lot of points left on the board here outside of everyone picking UConn. So
Yeah, for sure.
But the second half of the East, we have Duquesne. They beat BYU in a close one. I think that was like the second game of the tournament. Other than that, everything really went how you'd expect. Iowa State handled business. Illinois pretty much whooped up on everyone. And so both the 2 and the 3 seed both making it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. This side of the bracket really played out pretty straightforward. Even the top really did. We had the one upset, but like here, Duquesne 6-11 is not that the bad, but you got the 1, 2, and 7 that advanced, and then of course now we got the 1 and 2 seeds. I mean the 2 and 3 seeds meeting in the Sweet 16. So this is pretty
Right.
expected here with that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
by the way, here's the basketball court. It's not as bad as the football court, but you see they like their blue and they like to shade in the 3-point area.
They needed to be just, they got the football field is the bright blue. They need the court to be bright orange. That's what I want.
They have actually had this before where the 3-point arc is blue and the lane is natural wood color. So that's but hey, but it's like Nike or like Oregon Duck jerseys. They can't stay with one. They got to keep changing it all.
And who pays for that? After a while, you got to wonder.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there you go. We got 10 people with us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe on YouTube. Yay. 3 more to 610. Share out the stream with everybody. We make sports ball fun with this great, crazy cast. And follow us on Twitch. So, hey, thank you everybody that's here. And yeah, Simply Steve, nice new stadium for the football. And yeah, Tide Pods are more artistic. So, but Sci-Fi Mommy, the blue toilet water. Wow, we got to hear that story sometimes.
Well, I thought Admiral Teague's reference of the blue Tide Pods was actually better.
Okay. Well, I always go with toilet water, but it's TJ Play Nice is with us here today.
Hey,
Good to see you. So, oh gosh, yeah, they didn't even make Boise State got eliminated in the playing game, so they are not around. All right, Whoopa. We
let's see it.
All
right,
let's see it. Where we go?
We got this. A lot of people. This one, a lot more points. JT is the only one who picked the Duquesne upset.
Well, yeah, I got a thing against BYU, so it was more out of spite than out of wise divination of who's going to win that.
Exactly.
But yeah, so otherwise, pretty much everything. I think everyone got 3 points here at least.
The only in the East, we only have the one upset. We have a 5 seed instead of a 4 seed. So this is really a pretty well balanced bracket. It actually has gone as you would expect. A couple of upsets, yeah, but we don't have like an 8 or 10 seed like we're going to see in the East. So
yeah.
Oh, by the way, Admiral, you're driving Admiral T crazy.
No, it's listen. It's clearly spelled Duquesne right here. I don't know what you're talking about.
David
There's a Q here. There's an S.
I thought it was Duquesne.
That might be it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, how many different ways can we pronounce Duquesne?
I don't know. We can try and make a new one every time.
Okay, we can try that. But they're the Duke.
Duquesne.
Yeah.
There you go.
Duquesne. I don't make the rules. Well, we break the rules here on Dadman Walking.
Duquesne.
We break the rules here on this channel, and especially with Sports Weekly with Dadman and friends. We're troublemakers. We are aiming to make sports fun on YouTube.
We can call them the Duke.
Down.
We can call them the Duke Navy Blue Devils, but
yeah, there you go.
There you go. That's kind of a neat D, but hey.
Yeah. All right, but we've got that one. On to the West. This worked out pretty much. I was outside of St. Mary's losing to Grand Canyon. Everything worked out to the chalk pretty much. I know Michigan State was the 9th seed, but I think they were favored so
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, pretty good. Yeah, Michigan State won one game. Congrats.
Which was exactly as many as I thought. It was one of these where I was going off on it last week, going off on Tom Izzo, where you make the tournament how many years in a row and all this stuff, and you pick way too hard of a regular season. You get a really bad seeding where you're going to play the number 1 or the number 2 in your second game, and then you're out. You're done. You could have gotten a 3rd or 4th slot and made it to the Sweet 16, gambled a little bit further, but no, you make the road so dang hard for yourself. Anyway. And hey, Venus Sparkles.
Oh, hello, Venus Sparkles. Hey. Hello.
Hey, Vina.
How are you? Good to see you tonight. Oh, and Simply Seems they got duked by Duke. Yes. Yeah, this game. I mean, Grand Canyon. I think for a little while stayed with Alabama, but then Bama pulled away with it. But we got 1-4. At least somebody in the SEC won a game. Exactly. So,
well, someone's got to do it.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
prediction wise, I picked Grand Canyon because I was smart. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, that's a good call.
I call them the Gazelle Sports team because they have the exact same logo as this athletic company called Gazelle Sports.
No, I did not know that company.
They're small. I mean, they're not the size of like MC Sports or Dick's or any of those. Anyway,
but yeah, pretty much everyone outside of the Grand Canyon, Alabama, for Mombi, pretty much everyone got this one. It was very easy to predict, or I guess I don't know, easy to predict, but not a lot of crazy upsets here.
Nope. We're halfway through the West. Yeah, we got, and this one we have a 1-4, which is what you would expect based on the seeding. So, all right.
Although that number 4, I have no respect for the number 4.
I don't blame you.
No respect for Alabama.
It's an SEC team. So we got 12 people watching. We actually have 10 on the YouTube. So thank y'all so much for being here. Hit that like and subscribe for us. And hey, listen, join us every Tuesday night as we do this. We're just getting our flow going, and now we have March Madness in the background. What wonderful graphics for us.
Yeah, there's 2 important games in this. First of all, Baylor decided, hey, let's score all our points in the first round and just forget how to play basketball in the second round. Because they were on pay. They were going crazy. That first game was awesome. I'm like, you know what? I was too hard on Baylor. Maybe they're really going to go far. And then this game, they didn't have – I don't think they had a single damn lead. And the whole time, losing to Clemson. And I was ticked off.
Well, to give you some comfort, though, as a Baylor fan, I think what happened was Clemson got pissed off because Clemson has struggled in NCAA in recent years. They didn't go – they got eliminated in the ACC tournament. They've struggled in the NCAAs for years, being upset and bounced really early. And they just trounced a New Mexico team that a lot of people, even me, had picked, buying all the press and stuff, just thoroughly dominated them and came into Baylor hot as anything. How far will it go is the next thing we have to see.
Yeah, you look at Clemson and they're playing like they are in no way a 6 seed.
Right.
Like they're at least a 3 the way that you're watching them play right now, which is a cool surprise to see, I guess. Let's see.
Yeah, I agreed with that. Yeah.
Sorry, I was away for a second. The other big game is the 7 and 10 matchup. For almost the entire time, it was like, oh, this is going to be an easy Nevada win. I think 7 minutes left. Dayton went on a 29 and 9 in the last
Wow.
7 minutes and won
Mhm.
this game. It was just an all-time collapse because Nevada
Yeah.
had control of that game the whole time.
The Door Dashers really came. It was if I were Nevada, I would be crushed. As one of their fans, just so crushed watching that.
That was brutal because it was like, oh, this is over, but no, and it's never over in March.
Nope. It's the perfect time to get hot.
But prediction-wise, no one picked Clemson. Everyone picked Baylor to win, and they were all wrong. Dang it! But
after that first game when they beat New Mexico, I wish I could have gone back and maybe changed my pick. Honestly, but
they look just that good against New Mexico. They jumped out and did not let up. It was not a normal Clemson performance in the first round. Because obviously I picked New Mexico because the players they have on it are a lot of them are famous kids and are famous players' kids, and I mean Rick Pitino's son coaches for them, and they just dismantled them. 21-point win in the first round, and then come in and knock out the 3 seed. And they were hot in that game against Baylor, right? At the beginning.
We were surprisingly wrong in this part of our bracket.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of our brackets, this was rough.
No, this part is the good part. Wait till you get a little bit further. That's when we get the bad part. Because I was happy. I had to put in all these transitions, and that's why it's like, I don't have to put in too many because. So that's that side. Pretty good. Now get into the South. Here.
So in the West, if you could go back just 1 second. So in the West, we're actually going to have 1-4 North Carolina. Wait, or have I gotten my brackets? The West one was North Carolina, Alabama, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I got 1-4, and here we'll have 2 and 6. So the 6 is the one that's kind of out there. Okay, all right. So we have one little wild card, a Tiger in there. All right, now we can move on. No, Steve, nobody had picked Clemson to beat Baylor. I didn't see that coming. I mean, Clemson we can usually rely on them to lay an egg in the postseason. So, all right, South number 1, Whoopa. We've got Houston and Duke. We ended up with the 1-4 seeds that advanced, so which is predictable. But first round, 12.
Wisconsin dumping.
Look at that, exactly. Well,
James Madison, baby.
They're Wisconsin anyway. It's like I'd say about Wisconsin quarterbacks. You don't want them on your team. They go to Gainesville now, but James Madison, the Dukes in football and now basketball are good for upsetting. But like you said last week, that 12-5 is historically one of the matchups that we do see the upsets come from, right?
12-5 and 11-6 are usually the best ones because that's usually where you get the first at-large bids, or not the automatic bids, where you get those guys from the kind of underrated mid-major conferences that people didn't put, and they put up against those kind of mid-level at-large bids. And that's usually where you see a lot of upsets coming. James Madison. They were just the team of destiny. I picked them going farther. That obviously didn't work, but it's like, they made their first bowl game. Now they make their first March Madness tournament. You just got to go with them. They're doing good. But other than that, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the Houston A&M game last night. Not last night. 2 nights ago. It all blends together.
No.
Oh gosh. That was looking like it was close, but Houston had it in the bag, 12-point lead with 4 minutes to go. And then A&M just started hitting every three. And Houston had 4 starters foul out of the game.
Wow.
So they were running on backups big time. And
That's a high scoring college game. It really
Oh,
is.
But it went to OT. That's part of why it went so
Mhm.
high.
Mhm.
And the way it went to OT, Texas A&M, they had this inbound play and they had to score a 3. There was really no more time for a second possession. And the inbound pass is like the wimpiest. It's almost a roller. It was like the the weakest bounce pass I've seen. Hits this like stretch forward, and he just pulls up and sinks it. It's like, oh my gosh, how do you let that happen? Like, but that sent an overtime, and Houston thankfully won. I say thankfully because I had them in my bracket, but they pulled it off, and it's interesting to see because this was a really bad performance for them, kind of, struggling against a 9 seed. But they did have, their starters had 24 combined fouls, which is insane. Odds are they probably won't have that happen again, and odds are if their starters don't foul out, that game doesn't get close, but you never know.
Now, what really out of this weekend kind of disappointed me quite a bit, actually, was how, as a Big Ten fan, you get pretty spoiled. And usually by the Sweet 16, you're going to have at least 3 conferences, if not all 4, with minimum 1 Big Ten team left in each of the 4 regions. And we only have 2 left, Illinois and Purdue, which, it is not a great showing for the Big Ten this year. And especially with both of these teams going out the first round, destroyed my bracket over. I can tell you that much.
Have a good night, Teague. Good night.
Yeah, see you, Teague.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think, like in this case, they will have 1 SEC team left. So, see how that goes. Yep.
That was sad though. For words I've never said before. I was sad for Nebraska sports for a bit because they still have never won. They're the only Power 6 conference, I guess. It's Power 6 in basketball, I think. It's the Big East. But they're the only Power 6 team that has never won a tournament game.
Wow.
And they had their little, I don't know his name, the Japanese guy who's been playing pretty well. He was sad on the sidelines because he's a senior last year. I'm like, oh, man. First time I've ever been wanting to root for Nebraska. It's tough.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
We got the predictions here. This side did pretty well. There was some. I mean, even the upset got 2 picks, and Duke got 2. 3 everyone got right, and 3 people got right. So overall, pretty solid.
So Whoopa, how did you and JT pick on the Duke? Did y'all have Wisconsin advancing?
I had JMU advancing.
Oh, you had it. Okay.
I had Wisconsin. I had Wisconsin. Yeah.
I thought they were gonna. I was saying James Madison's the team of destiny. If someone's gonna make a run, they were one of my 2, but alas.
Yeah, and I honestly thought Wisconsin was going to be able to take out Duke. Well, I had a wish that they would take down Duke.
Honestly, I thought anyone. I wouldn't have been surprised if Vermont took down Duke, and it was close in the first half, not so much in the second half.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we have 1-4. All right. We have
the recap. This was the madness side of things.
Oh, geez. Oh.
Yep.
This is ugly.
So we had NC State take down Texas Tech in a pretty good game. Or NC State, and then Kentucky absolutely selling versus Oakland.
Oakland's first NCAA March victory, by the way.
Yeah,
nice.
I know
you gotta love it.
Yeah. Well, one thing I saw the headline. What I saw was after the story about Calipari on a hot seat now. I mean, because how long has it been since Kentucky's actually had a legitimate tournament run for a title?
They've been doing pretty bad lately, and I think I saw something about. Oh no, that was Duke. Never mind. They have not. They've missed the tournament somewhat recently. I don't think that have they gotten to the second weekend lately? Like they've not been doing
I
good.
don't think so. Well, I see an article from Bleacher Report where Kentucky fans want John Calipari fired. I mean, they lose to 14-seeded Oakland, who is not from California. They're from the Detroit area.
Yes.
Who just I've seen them. Is Oakland where Dick Vitale coached once, or is that another school? I'll look it up. But but yeah, this game here, it was like that's still fairly high scored, and you would think Kentucky would have won in a game that with 80 points, but they didn't.
Oakland did have a 35-year-old playing for them, to be fair.
What? The Georgia quarterback guy?
Dick Vitale coached at Rutgers as an assistant. Then he was head coach at U of D, University of Detroit.
Okay, that's what I think. Yeah. Okay, that's okay.
And he went to the round of 32. That's probably where you're remembering him from.
I was Detroit. He actually coached for the Detroit Pistons? Dang.
78, 79.
I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, hey.
Just tried it for a season there, huh?
Yeah. Well, hey, he at least turned it into a nice TV gig.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was 34-60 with his time in the NBA. So his .73 record in the NCAA did not transfer over to the pros.
Nope. It never does. It rarely
does.
does.
No, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was a very exciting bracket. Yeah, Jack Golke went. He's one of the coolest. He's a very interesting guy. Makes you wish that you watch more mid-major basketball because he has what was it? Let me look it up real quick so I can give you the true stats here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry. What? Go on.
Well, I was going to go ahead while you're looking it up. See some of the matchups. We look 2 upsets in the top of the brackets. One of the things that I've read and heard is that NC State is very similar to what it was when it made its national championship run with Jimmy V. 11th seed, low seed, rough regular season, had to win in to get to the tournament, and now maybe they are the team of destiny. The other game was the Gators in Colorado. Florida had no defense in the middle, but it shows that the 7'1" player that they had that got hurt in a conference tournament, once he went out, they lost to Auburn. And then, of course, this game, Florida could not stop anybody. Neither one of these teams could play any defense. And Florida rallied miraculously in the last few minutes to tie it with about 9 seconds left. They should have never even, and the bomb of a 3-pointer they hit to tie it at 100 was just amazing. So you got to give the Gators credit for fighting back and almost pulling it out. But have to give Colorado credit for winning and advancing, and then giving Marquette a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this as far as a play-in team's ever gotten?
No, I think a play-in team got to the Sweet 16 once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I wasn't quite sure, but it seemed darn close.
No, but they did a real good job. That game was a pretty good game. The Florida-Colorado one. It's interesting. Oh, and something that's interesting. Obviously, you look at the score and it looks like a blowout for Marquette. In the first round, Western Kentucky actually was up by 6 at half. So it was looking interesting. And then Marquette goes and struggles against Colorado. I think you're looking at a team that's maybe upset bound, especially going in NC State. Though NC State did take overtime to beat Oakland. So you don't know. Interesting to see, but I think this will continue to be a good side of the bracket. But this is what I was looking for. Jack Golke, who had the if I look, he scored Oh, in the tournament, he had 32 points and 22 points. Overall, did a pretty good job. He has this season. He had 372 field goal attempts. Do you know how many of those field goal attempts were 2-pointers?
Like 2.
It was 8, but yeah.
Mm.
So he basically almost never shot a 2-pointer. And it's funny, out of the 8 2-pointers, 6 of them were like layups, like right at the basket. Right. Easy layups. And one of them was like a 3, you could tell by the spray chart, like he was clearly trying to shoot a 3 and just wasn't deep enough. And then there's just like one mid-range jumper. It's like, what happened there? What caused him to make this shot? But I just think it's crazy. Yeah, he hit 10 3-pointers in that game versus Kentucky.
Wow, that's crazy.
Pretty wild.
Now, what was the question about the question about what was the furthest seed to advance? The low seeds?
Furthest play-in.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. I've got the furthest of what certain seeds are, but it didn't go as specific as play-in teams. Okay.
But for the predictions, this is what I was talking about when we said it would get worse. As you can see, there's a lot of it's very sparsely populated on this prediction map.
Wow. Yep.
I picked NC State because once again I'm a genius.
There you go.
No one picked Colorado to win. Me and Dadman both picked Florida to make the Sweet 16, so maybe not. Yep. Maybe I'm not so much of a genius. Everyone picked Kentucky to win the first round. And so Marquette got enough people's stuff, but
yeah, snooze.
That was just like
that was guaranteed.
When I was looking at this, when I was making it, I'm like, dang, no one did very good over here. So, yeah, that was the fun part. A lot of upset here. But moving to the last part, the Midwest, we have nothing really surprising here. I thought McNeese was going to beat Gonzaga, but I was wrong. Other than that, I mean, like, I don't think there's anything crazy here.
Samford gave Kansas a battle, but it's like Kansas pulled ahead just enough to give itself enough breathing room to hold Samford off at the end.
Well, Kansas had the refs on their side. Totally clean block that Samford had, and it got called.
Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, it doesn't get more clean of a block than that.
No, of course, we can't use replay to overturn that, but we can use replay to assess harder fouls and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But as kind of expected, Kansas missing their big men. And after struggling with Samford, they got blown out by Gonzaga. And Purdue blew out Utah State. Overall, pretty expected. And I think if you look at it
1-5, yeah.
No one picked Utah State, which is interesting. Other than that, yeah, everyone picked Purdue to move through, and I was the trendy McNeese guy, but a lot of predictions here. And so 1 and a 5 seed, and on the last one, Dadman, you're talking about, we had a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 4 seed, and a 11 seed. So the 11 seed is a big deal, but other than that, everything you'd expect. And here, 1 and a 5 seed, not too crazy. But that's what we got here, at least.
Yep. Hey. Bottom bracket. Yeah, I think I had Kansas going. All right. Now, it's good to see this. This was pretty well expected here in the Midwest then.
Yep. And then here we've got the Ducks putting a whooping on South Carolina. There was everything here was pretty much to be expected, but both of these Midwest second round games were really good. I don't know did any of you guys get to watch the Creighton Oregon game by chance?
Was not on my TV, unfortunately.
I saw snippets on the news, but that's about it.
Well, it was pretty interesting. I mean, this was a tight game. First half, Creighton ended up by 2. Second half, they ended up tied. Third OT, they were tied, and then so this was a really close, well fought game all throughout. And then you get to second OT, and Creighton scored like 15 points, and Oregon scored 2, and you could just tell Oregon was gassed.
Yep.
But it was just funny to see, you see this game. It's if you look at a final score, see 13-point difference, you're like, oh wow, that must have been a blowout. It's like, no, this was a really close game just until
The
last OT.
Yeah.
And Texas giving Tennessee a run for their money there a bit. Tennessee only winning by 4. Pretty surprising, but yeah, at the end, the 2 and the 3 seed here moving on. So Midwest is 1, 2, 3, and 5. So really, I think they said this is the first time all 1 and 2 seeds have advanced since 2019. Not that far away, but it just shows you how many upsets we've had in the last 3 years.
Sure. I'm just looking at Texas thinking, man, their fans are going to have a rough time in football and basketball when they go to the SEC.
Yeah.
Shame. Darn.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone outside of Austin is going to be real upset about that. Yeah. But no, that was good. Predictions wise, where did my I lost my cursor for a second.
Oh no.
But we got a lot of
yep.
Almost everyone got this. Yeah, everyone picked Creighton and Tennessee first round. Everyone picked Tennessee Sweet 16. I picked Colorado State to beat Texas because I don't want Texas to have anything.
I get it.
Yeah. And then, me and JT picked Oregon to win, and everyone but JT picked Creighton to win the second round. But overall, that's a lot of good. I mean, this one had a lot of predictions right. But we can get into that's all for the recap. We can get into the
let's go.
The final predictions not final, but the final for this weekend.
For this week, yes, let's go.
So it's a pretty big deal.
Folks out in the chat, feel free to share us your opinions with us. What you've seen, what you've liked this previous week, and now going forward. Who do you think will win? Who do you think will advance eventually to the Final Four? So feel free to jump in with us. And Whoopa now has our overall stats.
Yeah, so I put this order in before we got the predictions, but it is the order that everyone's in. And
dang, Mombi got hot in the second round.
Right, yeah. You have me and Dadman tied in the first round, but Mombi was number 1 in the second round, 11-5. You can see how close we were in all of these. Yeah, Dadman in first was 35-18, but we're all basically this is very much not over. No one's pulled ahead. Everyone's still close.
Oh yeah.
So this next one is going to be very important to the overall standings.
But we are doing relatively well. I mean, what is that? Something like 26-26 if we were tied. Something around there. I'd have to do math.
We're at about we're at least around the 2/3 right area.
To give you a not to be mean to Dadman, but to give you an idea of how much we've improved. As you can see, Dadman went 10-6 in the second round this year. As I was editing, I just used the template from last year. And last year, Dadman was 5-11 in the second round.
Yep.
So big improvements overall from us.
Yeah, it was a rough year last year.
Yep. So it'll be interesting. I brought up the bottom of the pack in the second round, but at least I got a tie for first.
Quote unquote bottom of the pack.
Yeah.
You still came out, in the black, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. We're doing good. I wanted that double-digit wins, but alas. But no, it was very good, and we're all very close. anything can happen in this second round that we have, which we can get to right now.
Yep, let's go. UConn and San Diego State. Pretty well expected matchup now.
12 possible points for this weekend of predictions. So a lot of chance to sway things before you get to the Final Four. You're probably not going to get a lot of disagreements there.
Athena's asking an interesting question.
Yeah. Is it bad that my only knowledge of sports is from Sport Anime? No, I don't think so.
I mean, what knowledge is it?
What is Sport Anime?
Yeah.
I'm curious. Do they have just like, is it like you learn the rules? Do they tell you about teams or what?
Is it like Michael Jordan and Kobe in anime form?
We'll see. Or no, please no more Space Jam. Please no more Space Jam.
The Last Dance and
hey, co-host Vic, good to see you. Good to see you, co-host Vic. Yeah, please just no more Space Jam. Whatever you do. So we got two straight up matches. UConn and sort of expected San Diego State. We got Illinois, Iowa State 2-3, which you expected to be here.
Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go get my daughter.
Okay, all right,
okay.
That's cool. Yeah, UConn is probably the hottest team in the nation right now, and they're the 1 overall seed, right?
Yep, they were the 1 overall seed, and they didn't face a lot of tough competition in the first round. I mean, you never expect a number 1 seed to, but they did crush the competition at least. So they do not.
One of those teams too, where you feel like, oh, they're one of these dynasty teams or whatnot, but they're not the NFL or the NBA. They're not a professional team. The whole team basically recycles every 4 years completely. Yeah. Right. And so it's like whatever notion you have of this dynasty being built, I mean, it might be around just the coach, but UConn, I may fall into this trap where a lot of people do, where they're like, oh, it's this school. Well, but needless to say, it's proving out so far.
Well, I tell you, it's this opposite of the Kentucky and Calipari thought,
Yep.
With that, the whole thing is bringing your mercenaries every year, and you're constantly turning your roster over.
That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
No, that is one thing that's interesting about this team. I guess when you say that, I say that, and this year, like UNC has a pretty old squad, but usually, UNC, Duke, sometimes Houston, those teams are like very much, and Kentucky, obviously, very much built around like first or second year players. UConn seems to usually have a lot of upperclassmen on their squad. Obviously, it's still turnover every 3-4 years, but it is interesting that UConn seems to consistently be pretty good without having those like one and done players.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But we can get into our predictions now if you're ready.
Let's do it. Yep.
I didn't mix up the order this time.
Okay.
I would have gotten confusing. So it's just the order as you see. UConn, San Diego State.
Yep.
Yep. I picked UConn.
Yep.
Dadman picked UConn.
Yep.
JT picked UConn.
Yep.
Mommy picked UConn.
Even though San Diego State had a good run last year, this UConn team's so loaded this year that Illinois is going to have a hard time, or Iowa State, either one are going to have a hard time matching up. I mean, they look like they're nonstop to the Final Four.
This will be the upset of the tournament right here, I feel like. Well, not counting the Kentucky one.
Yeah, that's got to be the upset of the whole tournament.
Well, but in a lot of ways, I think this one would be the upset if you could get past UConn as a 5.
Oh. No, I don't know. Auburn losing to Yale, 2 SEC teams being upset very unexpectedly.
That was expectedly for me.
It was expectedly for Mombi. She got that one right.
Yeah.
All right. So then we go to Illinois and Iowa State with this game. Iowa State come in on a hot slid into a second seed.
Yeah, Iowa State, Illinois State, the Big 10 and Big 12 champions, both have been handling their business pretty solid up to this point. So this should be a really good matchup. And you have here with, I'm picking Iowa State. Dadman's picking Iowa State. JT's picking Iowa State. And Mombi's picking Iowa State.
Wow.
So far, we are agreeing on everything.
Wow.
Which is either really good or really bad. But either way, at least we're all jumping off the same bridge at once, right?
But I have an interesting thing. I think I might have told you guys, but there's the 12 games to pick in here. We only had two games where we all agreed, so those 2 games are already out of the way. Everything else we had some sort of disagreement on, whether it was one or whether it was all. All either it was one of us disagreed or all of us disagreed with each other.
Mm-hmm.
The picks get more interesting from now on. I'm just letting you know.
I bet. Yes.
So it's high stakes. These are high stakes predictions here. UConn versus Iowa State, number 1 versus number 2 seed with a spot in the Final Four available. We've got, for me, I'm picking UConn. Dadman's picking UConn.
Yes.
JT's picking Iowa State here.
Well, let me say I picked UConn against. I protest, but I don't want to pick UConn. I hate UConn. They're one of the most teams that are outside the SEC I hate the most, but you can't ignore greatness and what they've done on the court. JT going to upset though. JT, wow,
and Mombi too.
Yeah.
This felt like JT. A game, and I don't have. Me. I like to look at a lot of statistics and doing that kind of thing. I'm trying to go for a quote-unquote rational basis on this. This one is a total feel game for me, where I feel like Iowa State's going to make it past Illinois. They're going to see this chance as one that they're not going to get again, and UConn's going to come in playing easier competition like this, and it's going to be a who wants it more. And I know, every game who wants it more, but there was just a feel about this one where I'm like, you know what? I need Iowa State to go in there.
Yes.
I do. Because I don't like UConn either, Dadman.
I can understand that. So
I gotta trust UConn. UConn's won me a couple bracket challenges, so
yeah.
I was like the only person in the world who picked them to win when they were the 7th seed. Not because I'm smart or anything. I just liked Huskies, so I picked them. And it worked out for me. Won me some money. So but yeah, that's it for that.
All right.
This is much more of a kind of what's to be expected, but the picks are gonna get much more interesting from now on. So
all right,
you ready?
Well, let's head into it. Let's go. The West.
UNC and Alabama here to start things off. And for the predictions, I'm picking UNC. Dadman's picking Alabama. JT's picking UNC. And Mombi's picking Alabama. So we've got another 50-50 split here.
I'm detecting some SEC bias in the house.
What? No. No, I do think NC's vulnerable, and Alabama's not played like the Alabama team, the high scoring team in a while. So I look at them breaking out this week against North Carolina.
You mean Alabama?
Yeah, that's what I said. I expect Alabama to break out against North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
never mind. I heard you the other way around.
Yeah, I tried to talk smoother and softer that time. That probably was part of the problem.
Okay. Mombi, what were you thinking UNC?
Oh, she stepped away.
Oh, sorry.
So, yeah.
Whoopa, I mean.
Oh, I just think they've looked pretty good in this tournament. I kind of felt like they were definitely one of the weaker 1 seeds. that Michigan State game was like one of the lowest. Like it was projected to be pretty close, and UNC was never really worried in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama kind of struggled a bit against Grand Canyon. Obviously they're still here, but I'm thinking UNC is probably the good bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see Alabama put away Charleston or Grand Canyon the way
that's also true.
I would have liked to have seen it. You don't do that well against a 13 or a 12.
No, but I tell you what,
enough.
But I will tell you that's why I sort of wonder if this is not Alabama's breakout game. Because they have struggled.
Mm-hmm.
They struggled a bit in the SEC tournament, and had at least the last part of the season, but they're a team, one of the highest, if not highest scoring team in the nation that, they can stand to get hot. And this is a team, if they can get the scoring back, then they could go on a nice run. So
fair enough. You're not scaring me enough to regret my pick, though.
Oh, no. I know. It's always a crapshoot. It depends on what shows up, how the shots go down. Yeah. So
we've got here West predictions for this Clemson and Arizona, 2 and 6 seed. I'm picking Arizona. Dadman's picking Clemson. JT's picking Clemson.
Yeah.
And Mambi's picking Arizona.
Arizona is a vulnerable number 2. They've historically had problems in the tournament. This Clemson team looked on fire. Now watch them this week go in the toilet. But that's what happened. They get so hot and then they flush themselves down the next week. But based on what I saw the first 2 weeks, it's like you could have a Clemson team winning this side of the bracket.
I 100% agree with you, Dadman. Everything you said.
No, it's possible. I mean,
they don't have any reason to fear Carolina. They don't have any. I mean, they're in the same conference. They played it before, but all like Alabama said, like if Alabama gets back to that high scoring team like they usually are, then but it's the same thing with Clemson. Will they do it 2 rounds in a row? It's up to be seen. So, and folks, we got 10 people here with us now. Thank you. Make sure you hit that like button. And tell us what you think. Tell us who you pick. Tell us what some of your favorite teams are. Share with us what you want to share with us, too, as we're traveling around the brackets. All right, Whoopa. Now, who makes the final 4 out of this side of the bracket?
All right. Well, here, we can go a little slower for this one. But I got I got the UNC and Arizona. I'm picking Arizona to win this one. This is a really interesting matchup. I don't know if you know the Caleb Love saga at all. It was big recruit on UNC, and then UNC obviously last year didn't even make the tourney. Huge deal for them.
They didn't even do well in the NIT, did they?
No, they declined the invite.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because they know they'd lose and look real bad.
Yeah.
But so Caleb Love transferred to Arizona, and he's been doing real good. That team has been killing it. I don't know. I think that they got a really good chance to. I think if they rematch, that would be a great TV, and I think that would be probably. I think Arizona has the upper hand on that one. As good as the ACC has been, the Pac-12 has been doing really good this tournament. In their last year, very sad.
Yep, exactly.
But I think they've got a chance to win this one. Again, we'll see. But
yep. I'm trying to remember who I took in this one.
I'm trying to remember who you took in this one. But so Dadman, Alabama, and Clemson. Dadman's taking Alabama. What a surprise here.
Yeah. Yeah. An SEC slappy, folks, right over here.
Hey, we got one left.
Right
we gotta stick together. There's only one left.
Hold on, let me double check if I can see the.
Oh, 2 left.
You have 2 left.
Yeah.
Who I forgot.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Oh God, The inbreds. No, I can't.
It's,
Yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting about them all the time. They're harmless when it comes to football. So, yeah.
The SEC is 5-6 this tournament, so
Yep, definitely disappointing.
banking on them a little sketchy there. But.
Exactly. Yes, you're right. And Tennessee's not all it's cracked up to be at a 2 seed either. So
yeah.
All right. So and we got JT now.
JT UNC versus Clemson. It's picking UNC.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. As much as I hate doing it, can't not. I'd rather see Clemson, but I'm picking what my heart tells me is probably going to happen.
Yep.
We've got Permambi, Alabama in Arizona. Is picking Alabama as well.
Man, good job, Mambi.
It's too bad she didn't pick Clemson. Then we got all.
Yeah, that would have been high stakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a lot of different. Clemson getting no love in the Final Four, but everyone else represented.
That's going to be who goes.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make this better for all of us to lose together. Just watch.
At least we got some diversity in some of those picks now.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we go into the South here from the West.
South. All right.
Houston, Duke, NC State, and Marquette. NC State officially America's team right now.
Yep, exactly. Double-digit seed. They got to be America's team.
Yep.
So how we go, Whoopa? Where we?
All right.
We with
so
this?
for Houston and Duke, I'm taking Houston.
Yeah.
Dadman's taking Duke. JT's taking Duke. Oh, there we go. And Nami's taking Duke. So I stand alone with the 1 seed over here.
You're well, that's not a Big 12 team now, are they? Are they?
They are a Big 12 team.
Well, there you go. Boop is a Big 12 homer. So
that's me.
All we need is Bucky here to give you a hard time on that.
Yeah.
Okay, Vina can give me a hard time in her.
Oh, there's Mombi.
Hey, Mombi.
Hey, Mombi.
Hello.
Just
Child
got through
delivered home. No, I'm just kidding.
Yay.
Okay, so you're in South predictions.
Yep. Listen, I think Duke. I can never hope Duke does well, especially now that they don't have Coach K.
Every time I root against Duke, they win. So
every time
do I have?
Does that imply that there are times where you don't root for Duke?
When they play UNC.
Loaded question.
I mean, yeah. There's three teams, UNC, Duke, and Kentucky, that no matter what happens, Tom Izzo cannot beat them. It does not matter how good of a team he has. He could have the best team in the nation, and UNC could be, bordering on not getting an IET invite, and they'll lose. So these blue teams from the South, no, I do not like them. But unfortunately, this game, I think they win.
Yeah.
Very rude. No, Houston's been dominant all year. I know they struggled their last game, but again, so many fouls. I feel like that's probably not going to happen again. It doesn't happen a lot for them. It's not like it's a reoccurring thing. Duke has done well, but they've played a 13 seed and a 12 seed, so it's kind of like you're supposed to win those games.
Well, but who do the refs favor in this matchup is really the question we ought to ask.
I feel like definitely Duke. I mean, I think the only time Duke isn't favored by the refs, it's when they're playing Purdue. Because no one's favored when you're playing Purdue. I think I saw Zach Edey shoot a guy on the court, and they called a foul on the other team.
Oh, you're not even wrong.
But that's how it goes for this one. Then we got the cool matchup, NC State versus Marquette. I'm picking NC State, not to brag. That's a lie. The whole point of me saying that is to brag. I picked NC State in my Elite Eight in my original bracket, so I've been trusting in the weird dog people.
The weird.
I don't know. I don't know what their logo is. It's a wolf pack. I've
Oh
never seen a
gosh,
wolf wearing a
that's
hat
right.
like
Corey Cochran was happy, obviously, with Oakland.
that.
Oh yeah.
Wildcats. Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
You know who we need on this is Hungry Boy to figure out which decade this illustration is the style from.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So,
Dadman's picking NC
Yep.
State as well.
Yep.
JT's picking the Marquette,
Mm-hmm.
and Mommy's picking Marquette as well. So
Now is Marquette, Michigan, also?
There is
Or
a
Wisconsin?
Marquette, Michigan, but it is not a Michigan
Wisconsin?
team.
Is this a Wisconsin team then?
who is this team then? I thought they were Michigan.
I thought they're in
Marquette.
Milwaukee. I thought
Yeah, Wisconsin. Where's
'cause
Lisa?
they're the Jesuit school,
Marquette.
right?
Who went to school here?
Yeah. This is Milwaukee. This is
All right.
Milwaukee.
The Marquettes.
Old man, you have no right to call anyone weird. Right.
Whatever, weirdo.
How are you old man, dude? You're like
I'm
20.
old to her. She's a young whippersnapper.
Okay.
A rotten rapscallion.
Gotcha. All right. There you go. Well, hey, I tell you what, Gator Sparkles, love having you hang out with us tonight. You can come back and harass us anytime here, even when Whoop is not here. Thank you for being here. It's always good. So
No, Dadman, there is a school. I had to look it up just to double check because I've never actually been to the campus.
Mhm.
Marquette, Michigan is home to Northern Michigan University.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So-
There's a Northern. Because I
Yeah,
know I hear
so-
about
I think
Central.
all of
East-
it is
I've only
northern.
heard
Yeah.
about Central Michigan. I've only heard about Central, Western, and Eastern Michigan. I've never heard of Northern Michigan. That must be like
Yeah.
a Division II school or something.
So Michigan has this problem of way too many different universities.
Yeah.
You've got Western Michigan, Central
Yep.
Michigan, Eastern Michigan,
Yep.
Wayne State University, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, University of Michigan, Dearborn, University of Michigan, Flint, Oakland University, Michigan State University, Ferris State University, Northern Michigan University, Michigan Tech, Lawrence Technical University,
Who?
and I am pretty sure I'm forgetting somebody else. Grand Valley State University.
Stop making up colleges.
And I know, and Corey's probably gonna whack me over the head with the one that I forgot, but yeah, it's way too many.
They got the School of Hard Knocks up there.
Yeah,
Is that on the 8 Mile?
several. You take your pick. I mean, to squirrel for a moment, I did play high school football, and one of the years was an away game in Benton Harbor, and they told the students, if you are not on the team, do not go. And police escort to play the game. Well, within a year or two later, there was an unfortunate incident involving the local police and some citizens, and it resulted in a multi-day riot involving the National Guard being called out for weeks.
Goodness.
Yeah. So that's not even Detroit. But there you go.
That just reminds me, I was listening to, there's a sports radio, local sports radio that I listen to every now and then. Depends on who's on. There's certain people I've learned when they're on, I just turn the radio off.
Yeah.
But
Well, I won't say what I'm going to say, but it happens everywhere.
yeah. But this one guy, he was talking about he played for the Blues, and he was kind of like an enforcer, not quite an enforcer, but kind of on that level, basically. And he was playing a game in Detroit and drove to the stadium, and he was late at night. He was kind of lost going around, and he was stopping at these stoplights, and a cop turned his lights on and pulled him over. It's like, oh shoot, what did I do? The cop just came to him and said, "It was like, are you from here?" It's like, no, I'm just in for the game. He's like, don't stop at the stoplights. Just keep going.
Yeah.
It's like that's the cop telling
story.
Just keep going. And I just always think that's crazy to hear about. But anyways,
yeah.
Back to predictions. We've got the final here between the various teams. Everyone picked. For the final four from the South, I'm picking Houston. I think they're gonna make it. Dadman's picking the Dukies. JT's got Duke, and Mombi's got Duke. So everyone picked the winner of this 1-4 going. So I hope they just lose in the first round and I get the points all to myself, hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to say, so that means Duke's going to lose the first game.
Good to see you, DJ Ronnie G. How are you tonight? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being here.
Everyone put a turtle in the chat.
Oh, the turtle. Oh,
turtle in the chat for DJ Ronnie G.
All righty. So, hey guys, appreciate it. Yeah, 80 y'all here. Everybody, make sure if you're lurking, tell us what you think of winners, losers, whatever you think. When the remaining time, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for your support. We got the great Sci-Fi Mombi, we put Trupa and JT Kirk with us tonight, talking about March Madness. So, you're the lone renegade, Houston Whoopa.
Yeah, I always thought this side of the bracket was going to be real interesting. They had a lot of overrated seeds, and you did get more upsets in this side than not, but still you're looking at the 1, 2, and the 4 seed. But you're looking at Marquette. They played like one half so far. They were really close to losing against 10 seed Colorado the whole game, and they were losing to the 15 seed until the second.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Western Kentucky. That game turned like in a dime in a hurry, and it was like I was hoping Western Kentucky pulled it, but they didn't.
No, but it's like you look at them; they look kind of shaky. NC State, I think they've been playing really good. Look at a 7-game win streak. They're doing real good, but they did have to take overtime to beat Oakland, so they're no guarantee. Houston just had overtime to beat Texas A&M. Duke is the only one who's done good, but again, they played 13 seed and a 10 seed, and they did lose in the first round to NC State in the ACC championship. So it's hard to know what's going to happen. I think this is going to be real good. I'm banking on Houston. I want NC State to win. I don't think they're going to win, but I want them to win. I wouldn't. Yeah. I mean, if they make it to the Final Four, at that point, I don't know. I mean, how could you bet against them? They're beating everyone. They'd have beaten some real good teams. They are the hottest team in basketball right now.
They are because they came so close in the ACC tournament to losing. They had a miraculous rally against Syracuse, forced to overtime and won the game, and then of course won the whole tournament against North Carolina. It just was an amazing run that NC State, which they said is also parallel to the Jimmy V year. Double-digit seed, could only get in the tournament through winning the conference tournament, and it's all about. That's the thing about college football, college basketball. Unlike football, it depends when you're hot. All you gotta do is get in the tournament, and it's what time of year you get hot. So,
and they've, I mean, especially with the ACC tournament. I mean, how most of the tournaments are, but NC State was the 10th seed in the ACC tournament, so they had to play all 5 rounds. You have all these buys. NC State didn't get a bye, and they played 5 games, 5 days, and got 5 wins. That's not easy for even if you put the best team in a situation like that. Playing 5 games in 5 days is not going to be easy for you. You're going to wear it down, and NC State did not. And look at who they beat to get here. UNC and Duke are still in the tournament here. They did pretty good. So, but yeah, we'll see. If they win, I'd be happy. As long as they win and not other teams.
Right.
But moving on to the Midwest, we've got JT's favorite team over here.
But oh yes.
So another one that's pretty, 1, 2, 3, 5 for this first matchup. I'm taking Purdue. Dadman's taking Purdue. JT's taking Purdue. And Mommy's taking Gonzaga.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I could see it happening. Gonzaga.
I could see it.
I'm always
That's
a
a funny
Gonzaga. Yeah. I'm always a Gonzaga hater. They used to be cool, and then I got tired of them. They just don't play anyone in the season. But they have been doing very good this tournament. McNeese State was a popular upset pick, and they took care of them, and they beat down Kansas, even if they were looking pretty weak. That's still a quality win. But Purdue's also beating down everyone now. Given, I've already talked about it, and it's very obvious. Purdue's got 6 players on the court every time. But
Yeah.
I know people get calls. It's just, oh my gosh. Some of the times I'm like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing consistently. Like, what is going on? I think that's going to help them out a lot. But you never know. Eventually that might run out. What happens if Purdue runs into, Duke? Who's going to get the calls then? I mean, that's really what you got to look out for.
Who has the larger fan base?
It might be really actually balanced. It might actually balance for once then.
Right, and then who knows what's going to happen. But no,
you're going to have to invent the triple bonus. Anyway, yeah.
But
so yeah.
No, it's going to be pretty interesting. I could definitely see Gonzaga's doing really well lately.
Yep.
But we got Creighton and Tennessee over here. I'm picking Creighton.
As long as they win, I will be happy. Quote from Whoopa.
They was NC State, to be specific.
All right. We got 10 people still with us. Hey, cool, folks. Thank you. All right.
That man's taking Tennessee. What a surprise, JT over.
Wish I was on old Rocky Top down in Tennessee hills.
I knew we were going to hear that. I
hate the damn song. I hate the son of a bitch freaking song. I hate it. I spent all week Florida, Tennessee playing that damn racket just to piss myself off to hate Tennessee for the Gators. Ugh. I hate that damn song.
He's been singing that song since he was 3 years old.
They get a damn first down and a dude rock gotta have Rocky Top. The cheerleader does something, got to play Rocky Top. 2-yard gain, Rocky Top. I hate the damn song.
So if they're shooting 2 and they only make the first one, does that mean we get to hear Rocky Top?
Yeah, absolutely. They break it, you get Rocky Top. They break the backboard, you get Rocky Top. Anyway, sorry.
They get the ball stuck between the backboard and
you get
the
Rocky
rim.
Top. You smile, you get Rocky Top.
Substitution, Rocky Top.
Dance Squad comes out. We hear Cotton Eye Joe.
They look at Kentucky. You get Rocky Top, Kentucky. Even if you don't want it. Apparently they do hate Kentucky and Tennessee. So they give them more Rocky Top.
Oh, God, that's
yes.
And then poor Kentucky stuck between Tennessee and West Virginia. So they got Rocky Top and your Mountain Mama. And you ain't heard shit till you actually were on a bus with a bunch of drunk West Virginia fans that can't singing that damn country road song. Another one I sing.
Well, Dadman, that song is a special place in my heart because a young coach by the name of Richard Rodriguez became the head coach at the University of Michigan. And then this little team, Appalachian State.
Yep.
Season opener, they rolled Michigan. Yeah. Yep. Who was supposed to win the national championship for the supposed to win national championship for the 52nd year in a row.
Yep.
And they had won the June Heisman, the July Heisman, and then August rolls around. Oh, so yeah, Country Roads will always be a good song for me. Anyway,
sorry, Venus Sparkles. Jeez, I didn't know song could make someone. It does. I really used Rocky Top to piss myself off in Florida Tennessee week, just to get my blood boiling. Because I'm not
going to let them know
that song, it's like
that when Dadman gets to Gitmo, ladies and gentlemen, that the Barney song, no. Play Rocky Top.
It's on loop.
I walked down the damn street at break or at friggin' lunch, and I got fucking Rocky Top. Excuse me, singing. I'm singing Rocky Top. That should not happen. I'm a Florida Gator fan. For crying out loud. Then I realized my damn running back dumped this jackass coach we have, and is now at the University of Georgia because we suck. Sorry. Oh, sorry about that. I saw that. Trevor Etienne. Anyway, sorry for the rampage and the derailing. Yeah, don't worry, you're good. Hey, I needed a yell tonight. Thank you, guys. See, folks, we make sports ball fun, Or you can watch me go on a rampage. Yeah.
Let's see.
You haven't even gotten me started on Major League Baseballs and their changes. So
anyway. We'll get to that. Don't worry.
We'll get to that this year.
But
all right, Whoop, I'm sorry I threw out of whack. No, JT's turn here. So
JT picked Creighton.
Yeah, and you know why? Blue Jays are the biggest asshole birds. You should never pick birds see that they like. Blue Jays are bully birds. They bully all the small finches and crackles and even robins that aren't that small. They are just the biggest assholes of birds around. Dude. I don't care. They're a bunch of assholes.
I don't know why. That's always the weirdest thing. I'm surprised that Blue Jays are Missouri State bird. Like not the Cardinals. Would have thought.
No, it should be the Cardinals. Yeah.
Or like robins, because I see so many robins.
Mm-hmm.
Robin is the Michigan
State bird. They didn't choose the starlings.
We'll trade you. We'll trade you, JT.
We should have the Canadian goose as our damn state bird. Those things, things shit everywhere.
And they are not.
Oh my gosh!
They come after you too. They don't just they come after you. They own the whole world.
Their technical scientific name is Canadian Anger Vessel.
Yep. Corey said he's seen them go after cats, dogs, and people as well. F the Blue Jays.
Yep.
Oh, he's talking about that Blue Jays, I think actually.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. They have they do that. We take walks around our parking lot for work, and just like you got to watch everywhere where you step because it's a land, it's a minefield.
Well, then Toronto needs to change if the Blue Jays are so evil and warlike, then maybe they need to change the Toronto Blue Jays and get something more peaceful, Canada. Let's just get some more peace for Canada. That's all. All right, so we got Bobby's pick here. Now we've had
Bobby also picked Creighton. So Dadman.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
For all that bluster about Tennessee, you go ahead and pick them, Dadman.
Yeah, I'm starting to question if you're a real hater or not.
Secretly, I think you might be one of those stealth fans. You got that Tennessee hat and jacket somewhere in that closet.
That damn song's starting to grow on me.
Tennessee.
Everybody wants to hear it at karaoke, and I keep doing it. It's like
he's being converted slowly.
Well, at least they got a friggin' real football coach and a good basketball. Well, Gators have a good basketball coach too, but at least they got a real competent football coach. So
now, if they make the Final Four. I think we got to hear that song. We got to hear it.
We'll do it. So, all right, we'll have to do it.
Well,
but look.
First, speaking of the Final Four,
Corey said, "Now you want something that feels good. Hit a Blue Jay that dive at you with a tennis racket."
Oh, jeez.
And Vita says, "Blue Jays are friends."
Well, speaking of the Final Four,
Blue Jays are friends, not tennis balls.
We've got the Final Four predictions here. Excuse me, sorry. So I'm picking Creighton I think they've looked good. They're the only team. I think the only team in the tournament that. I think that they're the only team in period that has beaten UConn by 20. So I'm sticking with them. They look pretty good this tournament.
Fair enough. Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the refs will take an off day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dadman is taking Tennessee again.
Oh boy,
the closet Tennessee fan continues.
There you go.
With him.
SEC all the way.
JT is taking Perdon't.
Boiler up. Toot.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. Boiler up, toot. Is that what they really say?
That really a thing?
They chant boiler up, and then sometimes they have their little train driving around down there, and it'll toot its whistle. And then they say,
wow,
boiler up.
That's terrible.
And then they hit the drum twice, and then boiler up. Yeah. Anyway, so boiler up, toot.
That's the worst. I wish I could unpick them.
That's worse. Yeah, that's bad. And Mombi?
And Mombi has Gonzaga.
So does Corey.
So we've got a full house. One of each. Yep. So 3 people are going home sad.
Yep.
Hey, that's how I like it. That's how I like it. None of this. We're in nine ties for first because we all picked all the same teams.
And the thing is, each one of these teams do have a chance to advance. So even if Gonzaga can knock off Purdue, and say if Tennessee takes off Creighton, Gonzaga can play with Tennessee. Tennessee is not that. They have a lot of weaknesses and deficiencies. So
and they did only beat Texas by 4. And this is Texas, so
even with upside down horns of yours.
Yeah, I mean they're not even good. You know, they like to talk about how good they were. They think 2006 was last year.
Well, that's like a lot of schools do. A lot of schools do with that. Yeah, they live on forever on one season.
Mm-hmm. That's all we got for the March Madness predictions.
Right. Hey, that was good though. All right, so are you able to recap the screen one more time? Where we stand?
What?
Can you recap where we are with where we stand coming into this week?
Oh, like the predictions?
Yeah.
Or like our. Let me just use my mouse real quick.
Yeah. So here, I'll pull that down. So, folks, hey, thank y'all. Great graphics by Whoopa, as always, just like last year. So, we're going to take a look at for a second. We're going to take a look at where we stand coming into this week. We're going to touch a bit on a couple real quick sport items here.
Oh, Dadman, you gotta see what I put in the private chat.
Oh boy.
I'm not making this up. I'm not making that up, folks, about Purdue.
Oh my God. Is this from like 1960s, as old as this video is?
I think it's from the early 2000s off of somebody's flip phone.
All right, folks. Mombi, you ready for something interactive and different?
Sure.
Corey, you ready? Venus Sparkles, are you ready? And whoever else is out there with us still. I'm going to do it for a couple seconds to stay compliant and all, but hey, y'all ready? Oh, you know what? JT, hold on. I got to bring it down. I've got to bring it up in a different browser.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
I got to bring it up in Google Chrome. All right, give me a second. But go ahead, Whoopa. Are you ready to bring up for me to bring up the standings?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me reshare. Yep, I'm ready.
All right. So let me bring yours over. Come on. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is where we stood afterwards. The Dadman in the lead by 1.
Yay.
Everyone very close, and we've got a lot of different results. So things could change very quickly depending on who wins on Tuesday or Thursday and Friday.
I have a sneaky feeling Mombi's going to slide up into first after this weekend. Just something's feeling like it to me.
I think
That'll be interesting.
I think I'm going to move in. I think I'm going to move into first because I control the presentation, so I can just lie if I don't do good.
There you go.
Like, oh man, I don't know how I got 100 wins in this tournament. That's crazy. There's not even 100 games, but like the PowerPoint says so.
All right. Well, Mombi, let me know when you're back. This is the standings. I'm ahead by 1. Only 2 games separates first and last. So,
and even then, it's kind of a game and a half. So it's pretty close. We threw out the first 4.
There was unmade rain delay.
That is kind of a coin flip, except for Virginia. Everyone knew Virginia was going to lose.
It can't be the only one who thinks seagulls are the mosquito birds. No, not a lot of people hate seagulls. So, all right. So as soon as Mombi is back,
why don't seagulls live by the bay? Huh?
Why?
Because then they'd be bagels.
Well, you're a cheater. Don't trust you, according to Vina.
Wow, I'm not a cheater. I only break the rules.
There you go. And he's going to run for president in 2024. So vote for.
Yes, I need to make videos about that. But
you keep saying that. It's already April, almost April.
I recorded a bunch of voice lines. I'm like, well, I'm ready. And then I just didn't do anything.
Oh, we're just waiting for Mombi to get back real quick, and then we're going to play this. So, guys.
Okay.
Major. Oh, there you are. All right. Are you ready? I think Vina Sparkles is ready. Corey, everybody ready? Let me see. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me remove that. So, actually, let me know if y'all can hear it because I'm used to sharing it. Let's see. Hold on. Wait a second. Let me do something real quick. Let me do. Oh, let's see. Okay. I did it. I'm doing it a different way because you got to have usually Google Chrome to get sound. All right. Here we go. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yes, we heard that.
Wow.
So when I say boiler up, boiler up, toot toot.
I tell you, that would make a good channel sound effect with that or something. Wow.
Oh, if there's any Purdue fans out there, I apologize, but it is that funny.
That's fucking embarrassing. I'd rather sing Rocky Top.
I just think that's weird
where's Bucky's Crafting? That's something her kids would love, you know?
I just think it's weird that they're cheering, this at a football game. I didn't think Purdue's had anything to cheer about in football since they invented the internet,
Well, Brom was there for a little bit. So.
Let's see. Clobby's favorite quarterback that played for St. Louis, or not St. Louis.
Wow, Venus Sparks this well.
Not St. Louis. Oh gosh, New Orleans Saints. That quarterback that won them that Super Bowl.
Breeze.
Yeah. He came from Purdue, so I think that was the last time.
Oh, my friends. Well, that's where we stand on March Madness here. Thanks for being us with that. We do have a little bit of Major League Baseball. It starts Thursday. I guess today's the last day of spring training. Tomorrow's an off day. We pretty much have skipped the NIT, but there's not much draw. Although the Georgia Bulldogs seem to be advancing pretty well.
The important thing is that Indiana State is winning. They should have been in the NCAA tournament. Other than that, it's boring.
Exactly. So, guys, what are y'all thinking with this season with baseball? I have absolutely nothing I do not know
Well,
anything about how the teams are. I mean, I will stick with my Cubs, and I know the Cubs play the Rangers, which is friggin' ridiculous playing somebody from the American League, period. But that's opening night on ESPN. But so Whoop, Mombi, if y'all been following the spring training, what does it look like this season?
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no baseball season coming up.
I was thinking we were doing baseball, and you Cardinal fans love your baseball, but
our team sucks.
I was going to say we already have 3 on the injured list, and
Wow.
4
we
on the
haven't
injured
even
list
started
now.
the 4. Oh, it's 4 now. Oh. We
Yeah,
haven't even started.
3 of them
the
are
season yet.
outfielders. We're playing a guy called Michael Ciani. I don't even know who he is, but apparently we're playing him. Our rotation currently includes the person with the most hits allowed in the National League last year, the person with the most hits allowed in the American League last year, and the pitcher with the most home runs allowed last year. So our rotation's looking dang spiffy right now.
But
it
doesn't compare. It doesn't compare to the Dodgers scandal of that. What is his name?
Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, it doesn't compare to that.
Yeah.
You know, the Cubs used to have some people that I at least casually knew the names of, but it's like a piece of crap roster. I mean, the little bit that I've heard of Major League Baseball and names that I could recognize, I mean, there's like Nick Madrigal, but you know,
they got a few people.
Miles Mastrobuoni.
Who?
That's a great name. Miles Mastrobuoni. He's one of the Cubs' third basemen.
This is an 18+ stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. It is. But it is Mastrobuoni. Oh. Okay, Mastrobuoni. I don't know. That might sound worse, but hey. All right. But see, they got 4 outfielders. I don't know. Cody Bellinger. I think I've heard that name a long time ago, but it's just like, I don't know. I see a team that, I see a team that's just probably already condemned to the basement. How's the best way to watch Major League Baseball nowadays if you want to? Is there one particular?
That's the neat part. You don't.
Yeah.
We had the whole after I think they play a couple rivalry games in spring training after the true spring training, and they had Cardinals and Cubs, and guess what? You couldn't watch it. It's great job, Major League Baseball.
That's because Bally Sports is in bankruptcy, and they just re-signed the contract for at least the Cardinals today. But all the other teams are renegotiating their contracts with Bally. I'm shocked the bankruptcy judge is allowing them to do it. Because
it does seem very odd.
He had threatened to sell it off to Amazon and all the other streaming services so that Bally could just fade away.
Fade away, yep. Rock of Ages. Sorry. Anyway.
But yeah, it was kind of interesting that the Cardinals are the first team to sign the contract because we.
All right.
No, I mean.
Well, yeah. Let's see what
the
you
only
got.
real way for me to get to it here is if I listen to, if I want to listen to the Tigers, is 97.1 The Ticket, the FM radio sports station.
But
and then there's the very occasional FS1, which is Fox Sports 1, the Detroit version, or Apple TV on a couple. But you know what?
Oh yeah, Apple TV.
Is there any way to buy a package where you could follow one team or not?
You can pay for that MLB package, but I don't know if it includes everything. And I know they just did a big price hike on it.
And do I have to buy regular cable for it? Because I'm not doing that.
No, I understand.
And I don't want to be I don't want to be ageist on this, but hey, guess what? Anyone under 50 is not going to care about your whole baseball season because we aren't buying cable TV, and then we're not buying a sports package on top of it. We're just not. And that's a demographic thing. And the MLB refuses, for whatever reason, to just to do that. So
bring up the screen. No, I couldn't even find it in one spot if I wanted to. Whoop, are you ready for me to bring up the screen now?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
So this is the opening day lineups. Oh, lineups, just the matchups and the starting pitchers. They got the starting pitchers on there too.
Yep. I noticed that on ESPN too. That's kind of cool. I mean,
yeah, it's very interesting. Some of these are weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Dodgers and White Sox. I have no idea who those pitchers are, but they're pitching opening day apparently.
Wow.
Like speak to the quality of the teams.
It's funny they're using the walking cubby bear more these days instead of just the regular C.
I put that there. I like
you
that.
Chose that. Okay, cool. Oh, you like something with the Cubs? We got 9 people. Wow. Hey, we talk baseball. Stick with us. If you want to talk baseball, join us.
18 of the 30 pitchers are right-handed. If
that
matters to folks.
Yep.
Traditionally, that's been a left-handed pitcher's advantage, right?
Lefties, I think it's an opposite advantage, right? Like lefties pitch better to righties, and righties are the majority of hitters in the league. But lefties are also apparently worse against lefties. I don't know how that works. It's very confusing. Apparently, I'm bad hitting against any pitcher, even the slow pitch softball people. So it doesn't matter for me.
Well, it also depends on the park too, because some of these parks, it's like, well, everybody, you get a home run and you get a home run, and then others, you're lucky if you ever see one.
Oh yeah. So there's some interesting matchups.
No, I will say this is opening day. Not for my team. My team plays their first 6 games of the season. Season starts on the 28th, and their first game is April 5th. Their 7th game of the year at home for the home opener.
Oh yeah.
What? Yeah. People already are over it by that point.
Well, especially for Detroit.
Yeah.
Will be 1-6 by then.
Oh yeah, of course. Although this year, if you look at all the prognosticators, they're saying that they're a bubble playoff team. So, which means absolutely nothing, especially in the AL Central, where all the teams are bubble playoff teams because they're usually all awful.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's how the NL Central is too. We didn't really have anyone improve, and then the team that won like 90 games last year, Milwaukee, lost their 2 top starters. And someone else, I think. So it's like, I don't think anyone's good in this division.
No.
But
all right. Well,
so Dadman, who's your team?
Chicago Cubs.
Oh, that's right. You already said that. My bad.
Yep.
And they're going down, hopefully.
Well, that's why they've been doing a lot the last few years. So might as well keep up the tradition. One good season, or one and a half good seasons out of like 120 years. Yep, that's cool. All right, and we'll follow this as it goes throughout the season with Major League Baseball. Hockey is what we don't have really time to cover hockey, but we'll check in about it next week to see where standings, because we're rapidly approaching the playoffs. My Devils are pretty much almost out of it. So we'll start talking some hockey talk next week, hopefully, as we have fewer games on the March Madness. But one other thing that let's talk about tonight for just a few moments. It's also the opening weekend of the UFL. Folks, if you were whooping last year, we talked XFL football. Well, now, in the meantime, the XFL has now merged with the USFL. eliminated a number of teams in both and picked 8 teams between the two, and now have a new league teams. So,
Well,
Whoopa, go ahead.
First of all, I just want people to appreciate this logo up here. It's a little bit covered by the Dadman banana, but
Right where? Oh, shoot. Sorry.
as you can see, they've went through a bit of a rebrand. But I was gonna say, you're talking about the
Houston,
the trash throws.
Oh,
You're talking about the UFL. If only someone made some slides about the UFL right here.
Right here, yay! All right. Taco Charlton.
Taco.
All right.
Yeah,
I figured you would know that guy, Dad.
Taco.
Former
no, the
first
taco.
round.
The taco I know is the guy saying "put it on the Ritz."
Oh,
you don't know what to do.
Old
fashioned sits, putting on the Ritz.
I was gonna say that's a former Dallas Cowboys first rounder on the USFL.
Yeah, I would think so.
But these are
Matt Corral though.
Yeah. So this is the opening game. The Stallions won the USFL last year, and the Renegades won the XFL. So they're facing off to open up the season.
I'm gonna highlight a screen real quick. I want to bring this up real quick, and then we'll come back to yours in just a second. Because, folks, what had happened? The two leagues merged, and they with that, they brought some teams over from both leagues here. Crap, I keep hitting the wrong thing. So hit the wrong damn button. That's the delay on the thing. There we go. So we got there you go. So we've got the Michigan Panthers, a USFL team, Birmingham Stallions, also USFL team, Memphis Showboats from the USFL. We got oh gosh, some of the teams. No Seattle, definitely no Orlando team. Wow, I did not realize they did it. They really have they did it by USFL division and XFL division. Wow. DC Defenders, Arlington, St. Louis, and San Antonio, like the 4 best of all the teams that were last year, basically came over.
Interesting.
That's reminiscent. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's an interesting thing. So Houston Roughnecks, they're in the USFL division. That is an XFL team, an XFL name. There was a Houston Gamblers, was it, in the USFL? Yep. They gave the Houston Roughnecks the Houston Gamblers roster, but took the XFL name and logo because I guess they thought it was better, or they did better in Houston.
I like the Renegades. Oh, they did better comparatively speaking. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I think they kept the logo and such, but they gave them the USFL roster.
Okay, so those are the 8 teams that are there, folks. So we're gonna bring back Whoopa's great graphics over here. So
yeah,
right.
There's not a ton that we can go over. I mean, it's the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
no one has done anything yet.
It's one of those. It's like one of those leagues and stuff. We really don't know till we start to see it. It's that kind of thing.
Yep, but they've got Taco Charlton, the former first overall pick, Matt Corral was only drafted 2 years ago. Kenny Robinson was in the 2020 XFL. He actually got drafted he played for the Battlehawks. That was really cool. And then got drafted into the NFL from that. The Renegades, they got Ajene Harris, who was pretty good, 5 interceptions. Sal Canelo was the number 1 tight end. Luis Perez is coming back. He was the XFL championship MVP.
Oh, yeah. He turned that team around. It actually gave him some offensive firepower.
Yeah. So this could be a good game. I don't know as much about the USFL players as the XFL players. But I think it'll be fun to watch. That's the first game at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday.
Now, these games are going to be on real networks, right? Not like last year with the UFL were like buried on some obscure things.
Yeah. Let me see. Birmingham Stallions and St. Louis Battlehawks are the games on both games on Saturday are going to be on Fox. Both games on Sunday are going to be on ESPN. So,
Yep.
they'll have
Yeah,
someone.
I always had the games on a real channel, like broadcast television.
Yeah, but see what happened last year, JT, was the UFL were buried like on not even Peacock, was it, in the first few weeks? It was like not even FS1. They were buried like on some. I don't even know what the next worst word. You remember Whoopa? Because it was like you really had to get an obscure package to be able to get the games in the UFL last year. Wow, we are up to hey, we got the UFL fans coming in, Whoopa. We're up to 11.
Yeah.
Thank you, folks, for hanging with us. And to see, folks, hey, throw silly stuff out there if you have to. We'll teach you sports ball. You heard my rampage about Rocky Top earlier. That's what breaks out here. We make sports fun here. But hey, thank you for being here with us.
I was local, Dadman, so that meant that I could actually get it on, a broadcast station. As opposed to the ones you were talking about. But hey, that's too bad because it was good football to watch. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Local, you were the UFL, the USFL. Y'all didn't have a UFL team, did y'all?
Well, XFL was.
The XFL, they didn't have it.
No, they didn't have the XFL team.
Yeah,
we had. Well, speaking of the XFL and USFL teams, though.
Yes,
JT and I's team are going at it at week 1 in Detroit.
All right,
in Detroit.
Yep.
Battlehawks. Wow. I'm well versed on the Battlehawks because I'm the number.
And you got your quarterback. He took a
got the boy
roster.
AJ McCarron.
He took a release from a roster.
The greatest quarterback of all time, AJ McCarron. There's really the Battlehawks basically decided we only need 2 things. We need a pass rush and we need a pass offense. Everything else, who needs that? Because we picked up in like the dispersal draft or whatever, we got Peter Tamapanu, who was the 2023 XFL Defensive Player of the Year. We brought back Travis Feeney, who had 5 sacks in the XFL last year. I think he had like 2 or 3 forced fumbles. He's a monster on the edge. And then brought back AJ McCarron. We have Akeem Butler. It's 599 receiving yards in the XFL last year. We got Darius Shepard is back. We got Ja'Cour Pearson, who was the number 1 wide receiver last year. He got hurt, though, so he won't play in the first game. And we also have Blake Jackson, who was pretty solid. So we have a ton of wide receivers that are really good. I don't know who we're going to use to run the ball, but, maybe we just don't ever run the ball. I think that's the solution.
There you go.
Michigan Panthers.
No. Oh. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you got anything.
Please go.
Oh, okay. Michigan Panthers. They have a Wes Hills, I believe, was 2nd in rushing yards last year, 679 rushing yards. Frank Ginda eclipsed the 100 mark in tackles, which is not easy in a 10 game season league. We also had Trey Quinn, 438 receiving yards. So they've got some weapons over there as well.
So how bad is Michigan's quarterback when you don't even list a quarterback?
I forget who their quarterback is. I think they got a new quarterback than who they had last year. I forget who.
I don't want to give information to enemy sources.
Corey, wow,
against me. Yeah,
that's right. Well, whoever he is, he sucks. He's not as good as AJ McCarron. So take that.
All right,
Brian Lewerke.
Who?
Huh?
Lewerke.
Who is that?
Let's see. Oh, he was Michigan State's quarterback.
Oh
gosh. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So there you go. Although it might be Perry.
EJ. I think I heard that.
Yeah, EJ Perry, Danny Etling from LSU.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then Lewerke is supposed to be 3rd string, but he also might start. So I think they just are not revealing who they're going to start yet for tactics or something. Or maybe somebody's hurt.
That is one thing that the XFL or the UFL, they do a good job of a lot of stuff. They do a terrible job of like telling people who's like doing what. Like you can't find depth charts available anywhere. It's like, come on, I want to know.
I know. There you go. So we've got 2 more matchups.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is this game can be seen on Fox and ESPN.
Oh,
Now, to
yes.
me, that seems weird that you can watch it on Fox and ESPN because Disney was not allowed to buy Fox sports component anyway. Just odd, but hey, 2 ways to watch. That's not an obscure. It's not an obscure channel there.
Yeah,
right. Those are 2 big ones that
you
you
get
get
it out.
out.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Anyway, go Panthers.
Yep. Now I'm surprised by the Brahmas, but then again, I guess they probably were one of the better teams. They seemed like they didn't do much and didn't have any offense last year. Cody Latimer, I remember that name from last year.
They weren't that good last year, but they sold tickets. That's what matters.
Okay.
And
whereas a team like Seattle might have been better, but did not sell the tickets.
Yeah, which is odd because the first year of the XFL, they actually did pretty well. The second year, though, they were just not selling.
Yeah. And DC is back. So Jordan Time is back. Wow.
Jordan Time is back. The XFL Offensive Player of the Year. Incorrectly, but he still was the offensive.
That was, folks, if you were with us last year, and I know Whoop will remember, but DC was a damn Jekyll and Hyde team. In the first part of the year, they were like couldn't throw the ball 10 yards. It was like all running, and they were dominating, all running. Then all of a sudden, at the end of the season, Tam would bust out all hell loose, and he they're throwing the ball all over the field, and even Derek King, the backup quarterback, was throwing at times too. It's like a team that 2 different seasons really in one, wasn't it?
Well, and this is part of why I love these leagues is because you have a mix of players coming over from the Euro leagues, or you have former college players that didn't really make the NFL, or you have people past their prime from the NFL. And then you have old coaches from wherever the heck they're from, right? And so you get this really eclectic set of player experience and player talent and age. And I think it's cool. It's not where this NFL kind of comes in where everything is just so, I don't want to say predictable, but in a way it kind of feels like it, where it's like exciting because you don't know what you're going to get 1 week to the next.
Yeah.
You never know. The league may shut down, but
hey, don't speak that evil into the world.
Please don't. Yeah.
Well, Corey said, I was a fan and a kid went to games. It's not the players, it's the people running them, and owners were rude. Treat fans like crap and so much more. Yes. Yeah, so
he's talking about the Tigers.
Really? Okay. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
No,
he was really on to
it's
that.
Always, it's always interesting with this because, I remember when the Battlehawks had AJ McCarron. I'm like, oh, great. AJ McCarron. That guy sucks. Yeah. He got carried at Alabama, and, the few chances he got in the NFL wasn't good. But then we started playing, and after a bumpy start, it's like, oh, dang, he's playing. He makes a dumb mistake here and there, but it's like, hey, he's like a real good quarterback. That's just the fun of it. Like, there's still a lot of good talent after that NFL. Like, a guy who doesn't make it in the NFL, he's only a backup in the NFL, is still like a top 50 quarterback in the league, right? Like, in the world, basically. Top 50, top 60 guy. So there's a lot of talent. The Brahmas have a kicker that's a YouTuber. So that's fun.
That's cool. That is cool.
He's just a YouTuber. Wow.
So he was
that's bad for them because they had a hell of a kicker last season.
Oh yeah. I think he made no, he didn't. He was on the
He's the guy that missed like one field goal. He missed his first field goal and then missed the last one that could have put him in the playoffs.
Yep. And it was brutal because he had been so good the whole year. And then
he was perfect the whole year except for the first kick and the last kick, JT and Sci-Fi.
If you're not first, you're last.
It was John Parker Roma, but he was on the Lions practice squad. They should have made him the starter. But
well, see, the Lions up until the year they go to the conference.
Well, the coach doesn't
game,
for the Lions doesn't want to place kicker anymore. He goes for 4th and 3 all the time.
Yeah, well, and then
sorry,
the 50 years previous to that, we always had tremendous kickers who were the highest scorers on the team because,
Absolutely.
that's all they ever did was kick field goals. So you'd get, just some absolutely legendary kickers that were kicking 50-yard field goals when it was really rare to do.
Yep.
Because, that's where you had to put your money if you want points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we got DC and we got San Antonio for this one. So where do we go now in the last game?
This is the last one. Memphis
I don't
Showboats.
like the Showboats. I do not like the Showboats logo.
They've got Case Cookus. I don't know who this guy is, but he's the starter. He's been the starter both years in the USFL. It's a very interesting name.
Wow.
Vinny Papale is okay, apparently.
Case Cookus. He is he looks like the guy from it's the movie with they try to get the fake ID. McLovin. He looks like McLovin. Sorry about that, folks. Serious brain fart. He looks like McLovin. He went to Northern Arizona University and won the 2015 Jerry Rice Award as Freshman Player of the Year. Let's see. Jeez, yeah, that's about it. That's about it. He college career. He signed with the Broncos, but was waived 3 days later.
Yeah.
Signed with the Vikings and then waived. Signed with the Raiders and then was waived. And then he tried to play for the Edmonton Elks, was released.
Oh,
wow.
There you go.
Okay. A little CFL there.
Yeah.
But they've got, I know it's Darius Victor. He didn't play a ton, but he had 5.5 yards per carry in the USFL. So he was looking good. And then Mark Thompson on Houston, 653 rushing yards. So looks like they got 2 big rushing attacks on this team. So that'll be some smash mouth football, perhaps.
Maybe.
Avery Genesee.
He's an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's from. I just know he was really good.
Okay, Texas A&M. Yeah.
I say I'm really behind on my USFL. So
well, you kind of have to Google every single one of these just because they aren't.
Oh
yeah, I was just I'm sorry.
Corey's having some fun out there. Yeah, the Red Wings got a better chance of moving to Lexington, Kentucky than the Tigers are moving at all.
Yeah, we need to bring back the Whalers.
Oh, he played for the Titans. That's where I remember.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So, that's all for the XFL.
Did you have any other slides on anything else?
I have 2 more slides. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's hit them real quick so we can head on out. So,
all right. This was
the Frozen Four.
The Frozen Four. I just made a quick little bracket. I should watch more college hockey. It's pretty interesting.
I just love it because all these teams are like all Michigan teams always.
Hey,
look at
JT, Michigan State.
Isn't Quinnipiac Michigan? Michigan. Oh, they're not.
I thought Quinnipiac was New Jersey.
Yeah, they're out on the East Coast somewhere.
Oh, what are they doing over here? I guess Boston College is there. No. I was gonna say because all these are. Yeah, no, because in Minnesota, what are these guys doing here? Confused. Yeah, swap these 2 with these 2. But Michigan State here, number 4 seed. Yep. So they just have 16 teams, and what they do is like they take the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and give them like the automatic number 1 slots, and then slot in everyone else. Conference champions get an automatic bid, but there's like 6 conferences in college hockey.
I would wish they did not put Western and Michigan in the same part of the bracket here is Michigan State, because those are always nasty, nasty, nasty games.
Oh yeah.
Michigan Tech as well, but I don't know if they're getting out of that one. And then all these teams on the right, yawn. None of them are going to win. So
Yeah, I mean, like Denver's pretty good. These guys, they're not going to do anything.
No.
Minnesota maybe, but like these teams are not. Like Denver, I know is kind of a college hockey powerhouse. Other than that, I don't think there's anyone really exciting on this side. But like you got Boston College, Michigan Tech, Wisconsin, Quinnipiac. I think is that Quinnipiac, or is it
Quinnipiac?
Quinnipiac. But I know they're good. Michigan State, North Dakota, Michigan, and Western Michigan too. But like these teams are a lot of teams even I know.
Yeah, that left side of the bracket is going to be good, entertaining hockey to watch. It's a shame that it's so lopsided over to that side of your screen.
There's some interesting things. I was looking for tickets for these games because I'm like, oh, let me check it out. They'll probably be cheap because they're playing these in St. Louis. Like they have the regionals.
Okay.
But I thought, oh, they're having it, at the Blues Stadium. No, they're having it at the Blues practice stadium, which has seating for 2,500. And
what?
I don't know if you're aware, Michigan State, Michigan, and I think I think all of these guys, their average attendance is like above 800. A lot of them in, over 10,000, but all of them are above 8,000 per game for college hockey, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And they're putting them in by far the smallest regional with 2,500 seats. So all tickets already sold out. And it's just like, what were they thinking putting this here? Like, these guys sell tickets. Especially these guys that you put here, I guess just awful.
Well, if you were to see Michigan State especially, but also if Western was there, but Michigan State, you could fill up Little Caesars Arena where the Red Wings play.
I mean, there's no – I know it's not always, I think outdoor games are more fun when they're more rare. But like you've seen – you remember one of the first outdoor games they did? They put it in the big house.
Yep. Yeah, with over 100,000.
Yeah, and it's sold out. Like it was 100%, 100,000 people watching a hockey game. Like there's no joke.
You get people coming from Ontario for that game.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, I wish that I had some college hockey around me. Any hockey besides the Blues, just because those tickets are expensive. I mean, they were always kind of expensive, but definitely now they're expensive.
Well, like everything else is crazy expensive these days.
Man, I mean, the Red Wings, you could go watch them on a Saturday after they've been eliminated from the playoffs and you get an obstructed view ticket in the very last row in the upper bowl, and it would still be $250.
Oh yeah.
So it's
even when the Blues were bad, it was $100 a ticket, and that's not as big of a hockey market as Michigan.
Right.
But this is going to be. This side is going to be really exciting. I wish I could go see one of these games, but I do like hockey. I haven't watched as much of it since the Rona, but no, college hockey gets. What I really like about college hockey is like there's way more upsets. And I know there's like less teams, but like you rarely see number one go down in college football. You don't see it happen very often in basketball. Hockey, it seems like you constantly have upsets happening because there's just so many good players, and you have what teams? Who's the big prospect this year? Draft prospect. Do you know what I'm talking about, JT?
It's getting late. I know I can picture.
Calabrini. Who's he playing for?
Yeah.
Boston. Oh, he's playing for Boston University. He's why
they're
he's dominating. I know last year Michigan's put together some crazy teams the last 2 years.
Then you have a Russian number 2, Artyom Leshunov. I can never say it. Michigan State.
There we go. No, the college hockey has been getting real good lately. Like, I wonder if it'll get
Corey
better.
played, but it's been 15 years. So hey.
Well, I mean, you can play in. I mean, there's a lot of minor leagues up here. That go
Oh yeah,
from former college players that are super serious to your rec leagues that are 40-year-olds, and you try not to stick people and do all this stuff because dang it, the knees just aren't that good anymore. You know what I mean?
The biggest thing you got to focus on there is staying upright after you've had a few things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
But I've got, I mean,
Okay.
I don't have any predictions for this. I just wanted to show it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
so you worked on it. That's awesome. So what else do we have?
We have one more thing. This was the weekly news stories. Bum, bum, bum. I just picked a couple stories that are kind of big, well, varying levels of big. It's like either stuff that didn't make sense for a slide or stuff that was just like, we can just talk about it real quick. The biggest news story of the week, though, we've already mentioned it before. This is the Shohei Ohtani news. Translator Ipe Mizuhara used $4.5 million of Ohtani's money for sports betting. Now I say that because the story from Shohei Ohtani's camp is that he stole from him. But there's some suspiciousness going on. Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but
well, they just sentenced a former Jaguars employee to a $20-something million theft due to gambling losses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was big news too. Lots of fraud going around. Lots of stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting how it's going to work because they were talking about, he stole from him. Then they have video of like 3 hours before they did the lawsuit or went out with this. That Ohtani and his translator just talking. It's like, I don't think that's how I would treat a guy who's just stole $4.5 million from him.
Nope.
There's a lot of questionable things. It's also like, how does one not notice that you get $4.5 million taken out of your account? It wasn't all at once, but still, like you'd think you'd notice that sum of money.
Bleed it down, at some point. Okay. I know that's one in baseball. Is that what? One that I saw tonight, I didn't have a chance to talk to you about, was that the Florida transfer Trevor Etienne, who went to Georgia, was arrested for DUI up there.
Oh, I did forget about that.
Yes, he's going to be suspended. It sounds like at least 10% of the season, which I guess is probably 2 games. So, but yeah.
Well, that's why he got in trouble with that in Florida, didn't he too?
I don't remember what he did there. All I know is he was the best player the Gators have had in the last couple of years, and he's gone now again. So I won't get off onto that subject, at least not tonight, so we can wrap up. What other news stories have you got for us, Whoopa?
Another news story, interesting one. I don't know if you heard of this, but it kind of interests me. Offensive lineman Caden Proctor. He was a true freshman. Started.
Why would you go to Iowa? Period.
Yep.
Sorry,
but he played at Alabama last year. Started every game, had varying success. Announced with the transfer portal that he's going to Iowa. 59 days later, he just announced that he's transferring back to Alabama. So,
right.
Oh my gosh.
Did he have a girlfriend and maybe they just had a falling out and come back to me? Oh, I'm back at Alabama again, folks.
Yeah. What I wonder is, I know that Iowa, like the school, did not have to pay any NIL money, but he apparently had another deal that he did get the money from. And I wonder if he's just like, hey, I can sucker these guys out of some NIL money and then just come back. Because it's so weird. Yeah. Not even 2 months. And he's back where, like, it's not even just that he transferred somewhere else. He just transferred right back to Alabama. It's like, I do not understand. So that's a very interesting.
Yeah, the whole NIL thing is just
the transfers in NIL. Yeah, is such a mess. Like I don't know what to make of any of this. Nope, I thought that was a crazy story.
All right, what else we got?
What else we have? NFL has announced a lot of rules.
Yeah.
So they
Yay.
adopted the XFL kickoff style, which I think is great. I love the XFL kickoff and the way that the NFL had it recently. You know, a lot of people can say you want the original kickoff, and I can agree with that. But NFL pretty much already got rid of the kickoff. It was, 70, 80%
Yeah.
touchbacks.
Yeah, they were all. Yeah, they were the namby-pamby football league with all that.
So I think that, would it be nice if they just went back to the original kick return? Probably, but they aren't going to do that. I think this is going to be an upgrade for that at least. But probably the more bigger and much more controversial one is they've banned the hip drop tackle, which
what
is
that?
it's very vague. Like I kind of know what it is, but I kind of don't. They showed a bunch of videos of like what the GMs were talking about. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, it's gonna basically what happens. It's gonna be like the new "Is it a catch?" You remember when they're like, the NFL doesn't know what a catch is, and they just are making it up. It sounds like this is gonna be the new thing because it's just like, is that a hip drop? I don't know.
Again, one more thing to make it complicated to be an official.
Yeah,
So,
and that's interesting too because this passed unanimously.
Yeah,
the XFL kickoff passed. I think 3 people voted against it. Hip drop passed 3-2-0. And it's very odd. A lot of people are not happy with it. A lot of players are not happy with it.
So, Article 18, a hip drop tackle is defined as a foul if a player uses the following technique to bring a runner to the ground. Section A, grabs the runner with both hands or wraps the runner with both arms. Okay, so you've got both hands, both arms. And Section B, unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips and or lower body, landing on and trapping the runner's legs at or below the knee. I'm having trouble even envisioning how you're going to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It almost sounds like some kind of like WWE wrestling move.
Yeah, I know it does. It sounds like that. But, I always, I don't know. I just, like I said, with trying to officiate kids basketball now, it's like, it's hard. It's getting so hard to officiate all these games with all these kids and people at different levels. And now having so many rules for interpretation and stuff, it's just amazing. I don't know how I don't know how you can do it. As sci-fi, and I've talked a little bit about that, about what you could do or make them professional, but just sometimes the rule book just keeps growing so much. I mean, how do you keep up with it? I don't know, but that's, like I said, that's another debate for another day, though. But yeah,
it's almost like they're trying to leapfrog onto somebody. So you've got to be fairly high to accomplish this, but then you're like jumping forward while you have the hold on the player, and then you're like dead weighting them back. And it's only going to be a foul if you land on their calves or their feet. Not if you grab onto them and you both fall backwards.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Dark Sage 9117 over on the Twitch side. Hey, welcome.
Hello.
Have a hot take in college football. Well, if it's okay, then you can share your hot take. We're interested. We're getting close to wrapping up, but I mean, feel free if you want to share it tonight. So,
yeah, that's the thing too that you're talking about with it sounds like if you're dead weighting them, which does seem like, I think a lot of people got hurt with that, and that's why they're kind of discussing it last year. But at the same time, to talk about how confusing this rule is going to be, unless you make it really obvious, you can't really tell if you dead weight someone. In some ways, it's like, oh yeah, that's very obvious that he just kind of just put all his weight, but it's not always that cut and dry. And I feel like that's going to be hard to officiate there.
Yeah. What if that's the very end of the tackle? It just, and it's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down for that.
Mm-hmm.
It seems awfully steep.
Oh yeah, that's huge. And somehow the Chiefs are gonna benefit from this somehow. Oh.
Yeah, of course, it's all about the Chiefs.
Sorry, Mombi.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah. Beat up on the Super Bowl champs. Go ahead.
There you go. Yeah. Let's see. Here it goes over here. Dark Sage, as an Army fan, I do think with expanded playoffs, you will see one day Army and Navy making 16-team playoff field. I know both teams have a near impossible amount to ever win again. Curious if someday they made the field, how would that go over with the fans? Is that I would love to see it. I'd love to see new teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's why it's good that they're expanding it from 4 to 12, and I think eventually they're talking about 16. Then after that, yeah, and and that's true, and that's kind of why a lot of the smaller mid majors have had trouble getting respect and getting in. It's because that's usually what happens. But you never know. I think it's better for the sport to have new teams and new blood coming in at different times. But just the same ones again and again, just getting. Now, I will think of the two schools, Navy's the one that's actually had a little more success at times in recent years. But I don't know. But see, here's the problem: both of the service academies are going to have to learn how to throw a forward pass. I mean, I understand that they do what they have to with a little more run option and stuff like that, centered offenses. Navy's had some where they threw a ball a little bit more, but I think that you've got to get to the point where you can modernize, at least to be able to throw the ball to some degree to play with the bigger teams. But I love the concept. I love the idea. And I think on the right year with the right schedule, depending on how they do formulas and all that would be good to see. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I hope that with the expanded playoffs, you're going to see a little bit more respect for the mid majors, just because a lot of time, like Cincinnati, when they come in and they get slapped around by Alabama, because Alabama was the best that year, pretty much. You got the best of the SEC versus the best of the mid majors. The mid majors probably going to lose. But if you take that mid major and put them, I don't know, fourth seed or fifth seed, and they got to play someone, I think they can beat them if you have a really good mid major, and then you're gonna say, oh, this team's generally pretty solid. It's just the fact that if you put them as a number 4 versus the top team in the nation, they're probably gonna lose. You put them as a number 5 against the 12th team in the nation, because Cincinnati that year they've had some pretty good wins. They could probably beat up on some of those lower ranked teams, but.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, Whoopa. Do we have any more stories on this one? So
we have one more. It's very quick.
Yeah.
The U.S. men's national team beat Mexico when their third straight CONCACAF Nations League final.
Go men's soccer, U.S. men's soccer.
Yeah. How about that, MMM?
Yeah. Hey, with that word,
Mexico.
Get this. With that, we got 11 people watching us tonight. 7 on the YouTube, 4 on the Twitch. So thank y'all for being here. All right, Whoopa, great job on the slides. Thank you as usual. So, any last thoughts? We got everybody here tonight. Anybody else in the chat? We saw our feelings and thoughts on March Madness. Where do you see who's going to advance? Who's going to be in the Final Four? Feel free to share with us, and feel free to join us next Tuesday night as we update and preview the Final Four in the men's national championship game. Whoopa Troopa, any final thoughts tonight?
I don't know. I think I used up all my thoughts for the day.
There you go. Mombi, do you have anything you want to talk about? Anything that we may have missed?
I heard that we might be getting Conzo Martin back as the head coach of the Missouri State men's Bears team.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yes.
So he might be coming out of retirement to come back to Springfield.
All right.
Yeah, but other than that, sleep sounds good right now.
I know. I think I am too tonight. I was going to do bills and stuff, but I think I'm going to have to put that tomorrow night. JT Kirk, any final thoughts? Yeah, I know. Put myself to really sleep then. JT Kirk, how about you, sir?
There's been some Cam Sutton news. Cornerback for former quarterback now for the Lions. Still wanted by police.
Oh.
So
Oh,
yeah, one of those
Yikes.
did some not nice things to people. I'll just allegedly, because he hasn't been convicted yet. But
I know.
a blow to the Lions for next year, unfortunately. But that's the least of the concerns with some of the crimes he is wanted for.
Oh, wow. Well, it's always an interesting thing, but hey, guys, thank y'all for joining us this week. We should be back next week. Yeah, that's all cool. We will see you guys next week. We're at 2.5 hours. Woohoo! We did good. But hey, thank you to Sci-Fi Mommy, JT Kirk, Whoopa Troopa. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for a great panel. And everybody, make sure you like, subscribe to the stream, to the channel. Let's get to 610. Follow us on the Twitch side. Get the notifications, and always follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at Dadman Walking 55. On that and the Mrs. channel in the morning, make sure you check in with her, Mrs. Walking 55. Check with her in the morning, 10 a.m. to get your daily dose of positivity. And with that, we will say good night, everybody. Good night.